When you guys were going through the footage and choosing what was going to be on the Symphony for the Devil DVD, like was that process like? I'm sure there was a ton to choose from. The DVD, by the way, was awesome overall.
Well, you should actually see what was left out because there are quite a few graphic things in there that maybe looking back, especially since I have five older sisters and they each own a copy, like I have to think about like what they were thinking when they watched it, you know. So but the footage was kind of like what we could get away with comically without being too vulgar. I mean, there were things that were a lot more vulgar on there. So hopefully, though, those tapes have wound up in someone's fireplace because, you know, these things have a way of coming back.
Recently, so you actually did some carnivore shows. I wanted to talk to you about that. What's the future of carnivore? I mean, is this going to be a side project to Type O Negative? After you like these couple of shows that you're doing now, there's going to be a full-fledged Type O Negative tour. What's going to happen with carnivore?
Well, the attitude was, and I must point out, it's not the original carnivore lineup for personal reasons. The lineup is Joey Z from LOA, Life of Agony, of course. My friend Paul and Steve from this band called Metal Health Association, and Paul has been playing sitar and Eastern instruments on Type O Negative albums for the last 15 years. So he was, one of the most likely candidates for this slot. And Carnivore was bass guitar and drums. And even though I love bands like Motorhead and Rush, I've always felt that when the guitar player broke for lead, like half the band kind of disappeared. So that's why I wanted two guitars, bass and drums, so it didn't, it didn't lose that half the bottom. And that's how I, kind of learned to play bass, almost like a rhythm guitar, because just to fill in, playing more chords than the actual bass lines. But to answer your question finally, the future of Carnivore, I have let it be known to both Type O Negative and Carnivore that Type O Negative comes first. Carnivore was reformulated for fun and profit, and I have to stress fun, more than anything else. I guess I'm having like a midlife crisis where I just turned 45, and guess I'm like having a tantrum because now I really know I'm going to die very soon. The sooner the better. And as they say that there are no atheists in foxholes. I used to be a foxhole atheist, but now I go to church every day. Please God, don't kill me. And so I just want to have a little fun before I drop dead, And Carnivore is a little bit more theatrical than Type O in the fact that we still throw out blood. It's controversial with the song titles and totalitarian symbols and this and that. We consider ourselves to be communazis, which is communazis, which is like both a combination of left and right. But I'm like a mid-wing extremist, or we just call ourselves chicken wings. People say, are you like white power? I'm like, no, we're wife power. Wife, like a swastika made out of like 4 high heels. Wife power. So that's kind of like pushing the envelope as to what is socially acceptable within so-called rock music. But that's why I feel that Carnivore is actually a true rock band, because it upsets people. If you can listen to the same music with your parents that you're listening to, there's something fucking wrong there.
Like Bon Jovi?
Something like that. I mean, not that there's just something like always wrong with that, but rock music has been about rebellion. And the whole rock industry attitude has always been, or was, formulated upon a left-wing ideal, because back in the 60s, late 50s, 60s, when rock finally came up, the country was so right-wing that the left shocked right-wing people. And so now, because I kind of lean a little bit right, and since the whole so-called music industry and even politics have become so left, that to to say anything right, you know. You call it a fascist and Nazi, this and that. And I'm like, well, this is, I'm not going to agree with that, but I'm going to say that, this is what makes Carnivore and also Type O Negative a true rock band, is that we upset people. And that's the whole basis of like rock music.
I agree with you. I think that over the years that's kind of been lost.
I mean, it's kind of like, pablum. It's, in this day and age, it's like if you subscribe to left wing politics and this and that, you're kind of preaching to the choir, But I've always been pro police, pro government, pro church, pro family. I am a conformist, and so in this age where people have piercings and tattoos, and here comes this girl who has like 6 breast implants, and she looks like a pregnant cat. Well, that's perfectly fine. I mean, if you want to like look as freaky as possible, that's pretty much up to you. But after a time, everyone starts to look the same. Like, after getting like 100 tattoos and like, a face full of like shrapnel, all these piercings and stuff, I'm not condemning it. Do what you want to do. Look the way that you want to look. But I believe that it's a lot harder to follow rules than to break them.
I agree with you.